Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first installment of HomeBodies. I am here with this girl here.
Louise.
Oh my god. She did tell me she was gonna do this. You gotta understand me, y'all. She did not. Okay. So we have the weasel.
Idiot.
On my left. And then we have
Little bruh.
This is Lil Bruh. And of course, you know, it's Choco Lab in the building. Love and peace to all. We are so glad that y'all are able to join us today. Thank y'all for all that y'all do. We're going to try our best that we can for the topic that we have for tonight. And remember, actually, I can't even say that because I have to describe to you why I'm going to say and remember. So when I say and remember, me and the crew are always going to say, we don't write any scripts because we don't. Everything is going to be off the top of our head when we do debates, no matter what. We will only get at most 2 sources for each subject that we will talk about. Everything else has to be just general knowledge of the subject. So today we have my little brother here. So we will be talking about education in the South and how it has either progressed or degressed. And basically what we need to do or what we should do, or just general thought processes about what's going on and how we're going into a sliding or inclining trend. So anyways, we're going to get started. Each of us are going to have a minute as far as opening arguments are concerned, and then after that we will actually give around a 20 to 30 second rebuttal and for each person. And that would allow anybody to either attack or support any of the arguments that were brought forth today. So because it is ladies first, we will be starting with Hannah, and then we're going to put the women and children to bed. So after Hannah, it'll be my little bro. And then, the young man himself. I did. Do you have a problem with that? If you do, you can get off my channel. All right. Appreciate it. So, everybody gonna have to just be okay with what I'm saying. So,
No.
if by the door is all right that way. You feel me? All right. So now that we're here, Miss Weasel,
Idiot to the second power.
What
That
are
is a
you?
weasel.
Have you ever watched Bob's Burgers?
Ooh, it's Tina.
Okay, so no, she's Louise. She's Louise.
Louise, my fault.
She's Louise. So she wants to be all blah. You know what I'm saying?
Adult Swim.
Louise it is. So Miss Louise, we would like to hear your opening argument. You have a minute. Let's get it.
Okay, well, I'm going to take a little bit of a different approach since these two people went to private school.
Swag.
Public school. So, a little bit of a different argument. A lot of the public school funding, especially in Alabama, comes from property taxes. And I think that could probably work a little bit better, especially in a lot of different areas. Some places have really high property taxes. Some places have really low property taxes. So how much money the schools get doesn't really depend on how many students they have in those areas so much as the, objective quality of those areas. So,
Okay, that's a great opening argument. I like that. All right. That's actually right on the head of the minute. So, Paul, your minute
Stop dry
starts now.
snitching, big brother.
Excuse me, Mr. Lil Bro. Your minute starts now.
Well, private school is mostly about if you got money or not. So it's not really on property taxes. I feel like private school is like a whole nother level, but we might be learning the same things. I never know. I feel that this, by education wise, private school might have it a little bit better when it comes to public school, because we have to actually put money into it. We actually probably get more educated books than public school, and
books.
I I feel like there is in the middle between education. It just depends on where you go.
Okay. All right. These are opening argument. I'll go ahead with mine. Um, I'm gonna touch on both points for my opening because I definitely like both where they come from. We as the U.S. we find ourselves spending more capital on our private school systems than our public school systems. It's been found out that we will spend around 70 cents to the dollar as far as our wholesale education, while other major countries or other like the biggest like 36 countries, they'll spend around 84 to 85 cents to the dollar on education. So even though we technically are spending the most money on education, we are not spending it in the right ways and putting it in the right places. So I think that's the reason why that sometimes the public school quota, as far as having very high rates of graduates, having very high rate of success rate, and colleges like that is so much lower because the per capita that's being spent for private school versus public school is such at a vast difference that it doesn't allow for evening out so far as like having equal opportunities as far as education is concerned. So those are our opening arguments. So because I went last, I will dissect the two arguments that I've had, and I will have 30 seconds. So I will start right now. Okay, he didn't know anything. He has no idea what he's talking about. Okay, because technically, in a sense, private schools are allocated their own money through the funding of parents and things like that. Private schools don't actually get allocations from our government. There are actually private institutions. But with those private institutions, that allows for them to have money strictly funneled into their services without anybody having anything to say.
But I never said anything about the government.
Facts.
I didn't. I said if an individual has more money or not. That's what I was talking about. I wasn't talking about how the government has the economy or how the government gives more money to the private schools. No, I was talking about how the students, like the students' guardians who actually go to that school, give the money to the private school. That's what I said. They might have better books and better education over that.
Okay.
I'm not sure what you're talking about with money being funneled into these places with nobody having a say, because that's kind of like the biggest thing with private schools is people give money and they also get to have some say in the curriculum. Like, this school might teach a lot of French because this person has some French heritage, or this school, it could also have some religious background.
Okay.
The donors have a very large say a lot of the time in what some of the kids are learning.
Okay. So if you could wrap up your argument on what you think about the education system in general, what could you say in 45 seconds?
We talked a lot about funding, so
We didn't
even go
okay,
education.
okay. Well, we would have to switch this and just go about the funding and how that may that may alter the education system. So let's just go on to wrap up about funding.
Are you asking me to?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, like I said, I don't have solutions to it.
Mm-hmm.
I think private schools are good. Public schools can be good. It just really depends. I think that there needs to be more equality across the country as far as quality of education goes for different people, especially people in rural areas. Giving everyone equal opportunity. That's very important.
Okay. 45 seconds.
To wrap it up, it depends. I feel like the education for funding, I believe, was in the middle between it, because you could have good education for funding like most private schools do, but you also could have like really good education without like the proper funding, like public schools. You can also you can have public schools that excel higher than a private school student ever would, and you have a private school student that was supposed to, well, not exposed to, but expected to excel higher than a public school student as the stereotypical way. So it's kind of in between public school and private school, because you can go either way into it. It just depends on the student.
Okay. What I'm gonna say about the funding is, I just don't like the disparity in it. I don't like the disparity of how the taxpayers' dollars are maybe only used for, you know, so much percent or so much cents to the dollar, and we're not getting like a match, or maybe we are getting a match, but we're not having a higher standard on what we implement as far as how much money we spend on our school systems. Even though we spend the most, doesn't mean we spend the most efficiently, or it doesn't mean we may even, you know, target the areas that are a necessity.
So about federal funding? Or?
Both block and federal.
Idiot to the third power.
I mean, in all honesty, I just think it gets misappropriated as far as where the money is supposed to go through within the school. You know what I mean? I think that sometimes that we'll focus on like the sports, or we'll focus on like an extracurricular activity that's not interbaccalaureate, that's not advanced placement, that's not, you know, something that allows like gifted children to be able to really express themselves in the fullest amount. We're lacking in magnet schools. We're lacking in institutions that have updated books, updated histories, updated information that will allow us to be able to be on par with all of these other people that's around the world who compete with us on a worldwide basis, on a daily worldwide basis, as far as, you know, the leaders of tomorrow, to, you know, the stockholders, to, you know, the potential business owners. I mean, they're all the way more prepared than we are, 100%, and we have one of the more developed countries in the world. So why do we not keep up when we have one of the more, you know, I guess, financially stable countries, quote unquote, in the world? That's just me. We thank y'all for watching. Whoever got to watch, we appreciate y'all. Of course, we're going to have a developed argument after this, because this isn't done. This is just the first part.
I don't think anybody's
Probably not. But if you do, thank you, because we really do respect it. Please leave comments below what we missed, what sounds stupid, what sounded awesome, what you liked, what you didn't like. Pipe up on us. You know what I mean? We don't care. Thank y'all. We're going to have another video out tonight. It's going to have, you know, a bit of a surprise. So, appreciate it from Chaco. You can follow me later, because I'm going to have all my social media sites that I will need up and running within the next week. But Miss what is it? Louise?
You're terrible. You're terrible at
I was
this.
about to say Lorraine. But Miss Louise, Miss Louise, do you want to give the people anything you would like?
Apparently it's my bedtime, so.
Wow. All right, we're done with that. Little bros, what's up with you?
Follow me on Snapchat, FalconsFan369. Yep. I'm done.
Thank y'all so much. We appreciate y'all. Got one more video coming out for y'all tonight.